Colorado players, and you know, anytime you look up in the news, you'll see Travis' name in the news. You'll see Shedeur Sanders in the name in the news, and people, of course, are going to be trying to drag it. And we had one guy make a video saying that Travis Hunter hurt his draft stock with the way he ran routes this past week. Everybody's reacting on Twitter like, man, you talking about the number one player in the draft, top two pick in the draft. What are you talking about? And then it revealed that he was a Ravens fan and he's just trying to talk Travis down so he can fall to his team. I think that goes to what you were saying about the news we were listening to about Shedeur Sanders, even before the pro day, and how they were saying his draft stock is falling. And y'all make the point, you, Coach Prime, everybody make the point that y'all just gonna put him in a position in a position to go to a better team
Yeah.
than going to one of those top. He's gonna be in a position, and he's gonna really hurt you then. So all of that narrative about the draft stock, I think people are trying to position to get their player to their team at the end of the day.
I totally agree with that. The whole process, even Warren Sapp started earlier this spring with Wednesdays with Warren when he talked about the combine. The whole process is to drive the cost down, is to drive the stock down, is to drive the value, of the player down. But to say that about Travis because of a route, that he was just catching the ball for Shedeur, like, come on, man. But I would say this, Chico. This is the Monday after Colorado showcase. And I
Mm-hmm.
know we have discussed it on this program, but you're really just getting to the first news cycle week post pro day here. And so what has disappeared is that nonsense about Shedeur not having arm strength. I think he demonstrated in the pro day that he did. I always appreciated how he changed things up too. They went out there and they installed the 2-minute drill in his pro day.
Mm.
Designed to either score or get in field goal position. And he was able to spike the ball at the end, saving time to kick a field goal. So it showed like mechanics of clock management. I think his accuracy was spot on. The couple of drops were not on his radius. You may have had
Yeah.
one pass, that was outside, but other than that, the 3 drops were, hit in the hand. So that's not on the quarterback. One
Mm-hmm.
thing I share with Coach Prime, and I know y'all gonna pause me to death on this one, but I got it is what it is. When you look at Shadeur's mechanics on this past Friday and watch his body from the waist down, I mean, he was so fluid and calm. I mean, it was like ballet almost. Like there was no unnecessary motion or no strain to spin around, no strain to get his shoulders back square. What he did from the waist up, that's Shedeur Sanders with his accuracy. But what I loved is what I saw from the waist down, man. The foot placement, the solid base he was standing on.
Yeah.
When he switch his hips and roll out, it just looked so effortless. It almost looked like he was going through the motions because so many other quarterbacks, struggle from the waist down. And they're good quarterbacks that struggle from the waist down. Watch Tua play, watch Russell Wilson play, and just watch them from the waist down. It looks like they are working hard as hell, to get their body where they want it. And Shedeur is just very fluid and calm. I think calm is the word. From the waist down, he was very calm.
I think a lot of people miss that foundation, that balance, that base, that footwork, placement. I kind of mentioned that in the live stream. I was saying, I think the scouts are there and they're looking at when he's throwing the ball. Where is his lead foot? Uh, where is it pointing towards? Is it pointing towards the target, or is he throwing it and it's going that way? But his foot is going that way, but he's throwing this way. All of those things that is being looked at by those scouts there. They want to see
Yeah.
the mechanics. They want to see that strong base. They want to see the hands securing the ball so that he doesn't get it swatted out of his hand and those fumbles and things of that nature. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to, I don't even want to say surprise some people because I really think the hate is kind of what they say cap nowadays. I don't even think most people are believing what they're saying because if you look at the film from the last 4 years, Jackson State included, coming in as a true freshman and what he's done, he's elevated the program. He's elevated the players around him. There's a lot of guys, in no disrespect, but there's a lot of guys he had at Jackson State that first year that he elevated their play, wide receiver wise, running back wise. He put catchable balls through catchable balls to them to where they can elevate their play. and we knew some names that we probably wouldn't have known had not been for Shedeur Sanders. So I think he's going to do the same thing in the NFL even more because he's going to now. This is not a college atmosphere. This is a grown man atmosphere, and that's what his nickname has been forever. Grown. He's going to be in his environment. I think this is what he's built to do. This is what he wants to do. This is why Coach Prime brought in professional coaches to be around him and to coach him up so he can be ready for this because that's what he was yearning. It's kind of like when you have a player that's way more advanced than the other players around you, right? He needs some challenges. You can't just give him the same challenge as everybody else. He'll get bored. So Shedeur Sanders needed those challenges. He needed the up in the advancement of the playbook and things that the coach Pat Sherman and NFL coaches could bring. So I'm not worried one bit about Shedeur Sanders. I'm not worried about him patting the ball or any of those things. They're trying to find something, but with them finding a patting the ball, I found this clip of QBs patting the ball. And if they're doing it, I don't see a problem why Shedeur Sanders shouldn't be able to do it in the league. You got goats like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers out there doing it. It shouldn't be a problem. Lamar Jackson, MVP. So I just wanted to put that out there, though. I think it's all capulation at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree with that, Chico. I think that when you look what this brother accomplished at his showcase, and you work from the ground up, you work from his feet up, you go from the feet to the ankles, to his legs, to where his thighs are turned, to where his hips are turned. Like I said before, the calmness that he displayed from the waist down, Chico, even as playing tight end, when you're getting off the line to block, or when you're coming out the top of that break or your route, it's all about from the feet up. It's not about your shoulders or hands first. Football is played from the ground up. And if you don't have a firm base and foundation, you don't get pushed around and knocked around. And when you see his body of work, literally from foot to the top of his head, and that's including the cerebral process to it, he's just the most sound quarterback that is coming out in this year's class. And I say, even if you don't buy into him being a once in a lifetime talent, he is certainly a once in a generation talent as far as what he brings to a team. And as far as this patting the ball, here is one thing where patting the ball could be a concern. When you're dealing in plays in milliseconds of time matter, the sooner the ball gets out, the better. However, sometimes you have to secure the ball to throw the ball. Y'all acting like y'all want somebody to sit back like this and do this. You have to have both hands on the ball. So at some
Yeah.
point there is a touching of the ball, whether you want to call it a pat or a hold or whatever. It ain't like he coming from his waist down here and then touching it. He's right here, firming it and letting it go. And so just like the clip you saw, who don't do that?
And I think that should be the
And
end
hold
of
on,
the
Chico.
conversation right there.
Watch what they do in play action too. They
Right.
pat the ball before they do the handoff or the fake handoff. So it's not like you can sit back there and key on it and know what the hell is taking place. And if you want to bite on that pad, if you want to, now the
Yeah.
receiver's gonna bite you.
Well,
So please bite on it.
I like to quote what Darius Slayton said, the wide receiver from the New York Giants. He said this: I promise he can pat the ball and be just fine. If DBs were so good at breaking on ball pats, they'd all have 8+ picks a year. Same guys that fall for a two-man dagger concept and give up the dig on third and long every season, all season long, talking about a ball pat. What a joke. Basically saying, man, if it was such a big deal, the DBs would be breaking on it in the NFL already. Everybody have eight plus picks. Come on, man.
12 plus picks. Lawrence RBE with the super chat, $5 super chat on this beautiful Monday morning with the morning run with Big Dog Chico and your favorite Uncle Neely. Lawrence
You
RB,
ain't lying.
salute to Mama T. Her production was flawless. The difference between Big 12 and CU Showcase night and day. I agree with that. Big ties, I call her. Coach Prime made a point in front of the whole team after the showcase to say, look, all the people around the wall, operations, the recruiting department, what a wonderful job they did putting on this showcase. And I think what you're going to see is what you see all the time. Stuff that starts here, everybody else start doing it.
Yes, indeed.
Everybody else start doing it. Watch how people gonna have
Man.
them a stage and a DJ and have cookies and all that kind of stuff too, because it worked.
everything was amazing. And I wasn't even there. From what I saw online was amazing. From the directions that was, on the ground, the stickers on the ground, the showcase, the banners, everything was set up. So shout out to Mama Top, or what you call it, Big T,
I
not the
call
little
it big. I call her Big Tie, not the little one. Big Tie.
Big Tie, not the
But the
little one.
players call her Mama T.
Mama T. Shout out to you, Mama T.